Welcome to An Evening for Hope, a telethon benefiting Rockford Rescue Mission. An Evening for Hope is brought to you commercial-free thanks to our exclusive sponsor, Subway.
Good evening, I'm Eric Wilson.
I'm Candace King.
And I'm Abby Finley, Marketing and Communications Director at Rockford Rescue Mission.
We want to welcome you to Rockford Rescue Mission's Evening for Hope Telethon. Believe it or not, this is the 25th annual telethon.
Amazing.
Rockford Rescue Mission is 58 years strong in our community, making a difference. And over those 25 years at this telethon, you have helped raise more than $2.7 million. I have to look down at that number because it's
just
an impressive number.
Right, yeah,
I mean, the math works
right.
out. That is a lot of money over those 25 years or so of the telethon. Tonight, you will actually hear how your gifts help the mission accomplish its goals and provide a solid foundation of hope for men, women, and children all throughout the Rock River Valley.
We're so excited to share life-changing stories with you this evening about the men and women in our recovery program, guests in our crisis center, and people who are really benefiting from our services here at the mission. But we want to say a special thank you to Subway JPW, who's making this commercial-free time with you possible.
Absolutely. Over the next 2 hours, we will be introduced to 5 programs here at the Mission that work together to lead life recovery residents to remarkable life change. We have many great stories to share with you here this evening that demonstrate hope, grace, and most important, love.
Yeah, this year we really wanted to talk about how oftentimes the mission is a block of hope in our community. Literally, our building is a city block wide and a city block long, but also when residents and guests come into our building, this is oftentimes the first solid foundation that they've had it in their life for a long time. So we're really just honing in on that block of hope thing this year, and that ties into our premium. So tonight, if you give a gift of $55 or more, you'll be receiving art postcards that you see on the screen. Those are art pieces created by people in our life recovery program, especially for you. Additionally, if you give a gift of $1,000 or more, the first 5 of you will be getting a silver cross necklace designed by Clodius and Company. If you give a $2,500 gift and you're the first person to do that, you'll be receiving a gold version of that necklace. And then if you give a gift of $3,500 or more, if you're the first person to do that, you'll be receiving a version of the necklace that's gold with a diamond, which we'll see later this evening when Clodius and Company is here with us at the phone bank. So if that's not reason enough to give tonight, I have one more for you. We have really generous partners, Mercy Health, Coyle Kiley, Members Alliance Credit Union, and Cerrone Piping this evening have given $13,000 as a challenge to our community.
Wow.
They're challenging you at home to give gifts that total that amount here within the first half hour. So we hope that's motivation for you to give this evening.
Yeah, that should be some very good motivation. And we heard the phones ringing just a little bit here not that long ago. 815-966-2842. That is the number you want to call. Of course, you can always donate online, rockfordrescuemission.org. It's important to note, too, that all of the funding that comes here into the mission is from gifts, generous gifts and donations throughout the community. You receive no funding from government. It's not a United Way agency. So that's why tonight's telethon is such an important event here for those at the mission. Of course, you have that number on the bottom of your screen. We'll say it once again, 815-966-2842. Of course, then you can also donate online, and you can even do that once the telethon is over.
Absolutely.
To rockfordrescuemission.org. Of course, there are many ways to donate, and of course, you can either do it by check or by credit card. We take that as well. Eric, I'm going to toss it over to you.
Thanks, Candace. As Abby mentioned at the beginning of the show, first of all, throughout the whole probably first few minutes or so of this telethon, this would not happen without generous help from sponsors. One of those, of course, is Subway JPW. Brandon Wilhelm is here representing Subway to talk a little bit more about your involvement. First of all, it's like this is a reunion for us because you and I will see each other maybe scattered times throughout the year, usually at different events. But this is where we can kind of count on seeing each other every year. And supporting Rockford Rescue Mission, like Subway JPW does, really fits with the mission of your company, doesn't it?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we feel like that this mission just is used by God in such an incredible way in this community. And really, we're all, blessed beyond what we deserve. And we feel like every day, is another day that's not promised to us. And this is a place where people who have fallen on hard times, that could be any one of us, a couple bad things happen in your life or a couple bad decisions or, some things that you can't even control could put any one of us in a position where we need this kind of help. And this organization is just amazing what it does for the community. It's given people that second chance. We've had people get back on their feet. We've had Subway employees that have come through the mission program, and the main thing that as a business side is you see that every dollar that you give to the mission gets to the end user. It gets to that person who needs that help, and it's not wasted through levels of bureaucracy or anything like that. And it's really a efficient and amazing way to bless the community. And the stronger the community is, the better we all are.
Well, you mentioned some employees actually being clients of the mission here.
Sure.
And it's fun going into some of the scattered subways throughout the area here, because you're in charge of quite a few of them, and
Right.
seeing familiar faces that we see from telethon here. We really appreciate your support. Please tell Sarah Beth that I said hello.
I will.
And again, it's always good to see you here.
Great to see you.
Thanks,
Eric.
Brandon. Candace?
Thank you so much, Eric. Of course, tonight would not be made possible without the volunteers that you see here. These are the people, the faces of those that you will be speaking to when you call that number, 815-966-2842. We want to keep them busy. We've got them here for an hour before we switch out, so we want to keep them busy here going and taking your gifts and your donations. Of course, we want to acknowledge those that are at our phone bank in the front row. We have Michael Lentini. Next to Michael, we have Debbie Van Sistine and also Melissa Van Sistine. We have Patty Krippendorf, who looks like she is busy on the phone taking a gift and a donation. We'll head on back to the back row. We've got Tim Clausen, Playground Director, Kids Around the World, and also a Rockford Rescue Mission Board member. Next to Tim, Teresa Beach Shiloh from Superior Joining Technologies, Warren Slaybaugh, and Laura Ortiz. Thank you guys so much for offering some of your time here for us this evening. Again, that number 815-966-2842. Of course, you can always give that donation online. Abby?
Thanks, Candace. I'm here with Mark Clodius, owner of Clodius & Company, and he's here tonight because they're generously donating our premium gifts that we mentioned earlier this evening. Mark, thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you, but a little correction. The company is owned by two people,
Yes.
one of whom is not here.
Yes, please tell us about her.
Well, Monica and I started our company 23 years ago, downtown Rockford. Not a lot of people know that we started downtown in Stewart Square. We really became aware of some of the homeless problem and some of the needs that these people had. And so after being in business for a year, we became aware of the telethon, and we were solicited to make a donation, and we thought what a good thing to do to help people and help the community. Well, now it's been 21 years since that.
That's amazing.
And every year now we're designing and making something unique for them. This year, the theme of this is the block of hope. And you know what is at the center of that block? It's faith, it's love, it's Jesus. And I don't know if we're able.
Yes, they should be able to get a live shot in there for you, yeah.
So here is the block with the cross in the middle.
Beautiful, it's beautiful.
And it's a one-of-a-kind piece, designed and made here in Rockford, of course.
Awesome.
And
Amazing.
of course, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And I have to thank you and the entire staff and the organization here for what you do for the community and for the people who really need it.
Thank you,
It's
Mark.
awesome. We are proud to be here and to support you.
Thank you so much, Mark. We couldn't do it without you. Thanks for
Yeah.
being here this evening. Candace, back to you.
Thank you so much, Abby. Again, that number 815-966-2842. That is the number you want to call here this evening. Now we want to hear a little special message from Board Chair Ann Dittmar and Mission CEO Sherry Pitney.
Good evening. I'm Sherry Pitney, CEO of Rockford Rescue Mission.
And I'm Ann Dittmar, Chair of the Mission Board. Welcome to our 25th Annual Evening for Hope Telethon. Through the amazing stories shared this evening, you will hear about the life-changing programs offered at the Mission. Since 1964, we have provided food, clothing, and shelter for the homeless, hungry, and hurting in our community. But really, we are about so much more.
We are constantly asking, what more can we do? How do we get better at helping people move from cycles of suffering and dependency to flourishing and hope-filled lives? We love the word hope, which means to look forward to something with desire and reasonable confidence. But at the Mission, Hope means even more.
Our rescue work spans an entire city block and beyond. On our block of hope, people overcome barriers and come to believe that a better life is possible. And there's an even more significant meaning because life transformation in people's lives happens one building block at a time.
You'll hear stories tonight about how the missions programs and caring staff provide the first solid foundation that our guests and residents have experienced in a very long time, maybe ever. Most importantly, they discover their true cornerstone in a relationship with Jesus, which is the foundation for everything we do.
Stay tuned in to hear how the missions programs form a healing community in this block of hope. We want to thank WTVO for their long partnership in hosting this telecast. And a very special thanks to our exclusive sponsor, Subway JPW, for making this evening possible.
For nearly 59 years now, the mission's doors have been open because of the compassionate generosity of individuals, churches, organizations, and businesses, because of caring friends just like you. We know you'll be touched by hearing the Change Life stories tonight, and we ask you to please give to support this life-transforming block of hope.
Tonight I'm here with Mayor Tom McNamara, and he's here to discuss with us a little bit about how he's seen the mission be a block of hope in our community over the years. Mayor McNamara, thanks for joining us.
Oh, I'm thrilled to be here.
Yeah.
Really, you think about the rescue mission and all that they do. It's hard to really comprehend the number of services and the number of individuals impacted. You're talking about more than 2,000 individuals every single year. That's every day. You're talking about more than 500 meals every single day. That's 7 days a week, 365. And especially now, coming out of the pandemic, obviously the economy has been up and down, and the mission has always been here.
Yeah.
And is there to help provide that help and that hope for so many Rockfordians in great need.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love what you said about how, now more than ever, we're seeing that need and just encouraging that, the mission's here to help those individuals. What would you say to someone who's maybe thinking about getting involved with helping out at the mission, maybe volunteering? What would you say to them?
Absolutely, number one, do it. It's one of the most rewarding experiences. I've had an opportunity to come down and serve meals. It really is incredibly rewarding, and I would say just this evening, please come down and volunteer, but this evening, really think about a donation. If you can't give a lot of money, just think about $12. $12 provides a shower, provides shelter, provides case management, provides so much to an individual, and it provides even more than that. It's that help and that hope, not just for that day, but for the rest of their lives. You could be that difference.
Yeah. Thank you, Mayor McNamara, for joining us this evening and for helping support the mission and all we do.
Always.
Rockford Rescue Mission is the primary homeless services provider in the Rockford region. And tonight, we'd love for you to hear more from Eric Dykstra, Homeless Services and Life Recovery Director, about our crisis centers.
The crisis centers really serve as just an open door for guests in the community to be able to come in and to get a good meal and a place to sleep, but it doesn't end there. A lot of times their purpose is to really get them to deal with some of the mindsets that maybe they've struggled with or the fears that they've had in terms of the hard times that we're facing and just a lot of the mental health issues that we're dealing with today. Is it really gives them a place for a lot of them who have never maybe felt seen or heard or loved, a place where they can be seen and just be validated for who they are and really find a place to really a starting point on that journey to life recovery and to just that wholeness and having hope. Because my experience in the world today is that it's real easy to kind of lose hope and to just feel and get stuck in this despair where you just feel like there's no solutions for your life. And I feel like when they come in here, and the reason that crisis is so important is because when they enter through the doors, they're having a person that actually cares about their needs and is willing to address some of the things that have been kind of keeping them stuck from being able to move forward in their life. So we really want to give them a place that feels hospitable to them. And then we do offer services to them through our Hope Clinic, which has to do with anything from dental care to just overall health, because really one of the goals for people who are coming into the crisis centers is wholeness. and that is emotional, spiritual, mental, physical health. And so really want to be working with them in order to, help them achieve their goals or their desires, and then give them a place to find comfort and a place where they can have hope again.
Hope again, that's kind of a theme here that you will hear throughout the night with the Rockford Rescue Mission. And of course, the telethon tonight, such a big event for them. I'll repeat the number one more time, 815-966-2842. That's the number you want to call to give your gift, or you can also donate online at rockfordrescuemission.org. Now tonight, we are so excited to be sharing stories from the people your gifts will directly help. The Rockford Rescue Mission provided over 54,000 nights of shelter last year to hundreds of men, women, and children who are in need. Two of those, Dorothy and Shane. Listen to their stories of hope.
I was into drugs and alcohol. It was chaotic. There was no order, control. It was a disaster.
I was just giving up. At the same time, I kept struggling and struggling to keep trying. So in a way, I was just tired. I was exhausted. I was done. I had been sober before for like 20 years, and this time I really dove in pretty heavy. So I went from the marijuana to the meth to snorting it to smoking it, and the only step left was the needle, and I was not going that far.
I was just bouncing around, girlfriend to girlfriend, streets, mom, and just not taking responsibility for my life. I decided that I need to take control of my actions and my life.
I came through crisis. I stayed in crisis for 40 days and 40 nights. That was my first thing, is how do I get to the recovery program? I need to fill out the application right now, because I've had recovery before. I just haven't had Jesus Christ. And there's a big difference.
I've enjoyed the God aspect of it. I've been searching for answers my whole life. Never came to one except God, so I think that's been the most important thing.
Here we are working on our mental health and our drug addiction and our alcoholism, but in reality, we're really stepping our foundation up with Christ.
My classes are normal English, reading, and math. It's gearing me up towards further schooling, if I wish.
And then when you get up in different stages, usually a third stage, and you get an elective. Well, they have archaeology down there, and I'm very into digging in the ground and looking for treasures and finding the history from back in the day. This is a plastic world. Everything's in plastic, and when you dig in the ground, you find glass. And you find things that were hundreds of years old. And so they told me they had an archaeology course, and in the beginning I was really frustrated because I couldn't recall, and I'd have to write it down like 17 times just to remember something, and so I'm doing better. I'm actually getting a B in it, and so I'm really excited about that. But there's a lot about archaeology I had no clue. I just was thinking it was a shovel and ground and dig and you got your treasures. That's not what it's all about. So yeah, it's my future of education, and actually I plan on digging into, God willing, I plan on being part of a dig in Missouri.
It helps give basic academic skills for further advancement into, maybe fields, like I said, trade or otherwise more professional. So it's been good. I think just to take it one day at a time. Some days are better than others. Each day has a new challenge, and it's how we deal with the challenge, whether it's good or bad.
Life, I want to live life today, and I love it actually, And then time, things I must earn. You don't get everything you want, and you don't get everything you need. You do get everything you need here, but you don't get everything you want. It takes time when it comes to taking out the darkness and bringing in the light. You know, it takes a lot of time. And I'm here to the finish, just like Jesus died on the cross to the finish. For me, and for, you know, life in general, for us to keep striving for Him.
It's truly an honor to know Dorothy and Shane, and to see their life change right before our eyes here at the Mission is such a privilege and a blessing to us here at the Mission. You know, not only does your gift tonight help us change the lives of people in our recovery program, but it also helps us provide food to those who are hungry in our community. Think about this. We're serving about 500 meals a day currently at the Mission, and that is on the rise from what we've seen in the fall and in this past summer. But when you break it down, we could easily use over 330 eggs in one breakfast. We could not do that if it wasn't for individuals like you giving to us via the telethon this evening, or coming to volunteer your time, whatever that may look like for you. Eric, over to you.
Thanks, Abby. The Mission's crisis centers are often the entry point for men and women who are engaged in the Mission's life recovery program. Leona is Homeless Services Supervisor here. She explains why working at the Mission is so important to her.
Case management is my priority right now, so I help them with IDs, birth certificates, social security cards, housing resources, houses for health care, whether it be mental health or whether it just be regular physical health. Assist with things like if they have to get registered for like signing up for Link and medical cards like that, resources for the mental health, connecting them with Rosecrans or places like that just in case they need those services. Pray with them, cry with them, laugh with them, you know, just try to encourage them and uplift them as much as I can. To empower them, to let them know that they're seeing that sometimes they come in there so broken they don't know that they can do this or that, but to just be an encouragement and an example too, not just to say do this, but lead by example. So for me, even if one of the ladies come back and say, Miss Leona, thank you, I was mad at you yesterday, but thank you for helping me, it's worth it. It's just, to me, it's very rewarding. I love what I do, and I really believe that this is where God wants me to serve right now. So a lot of times they're in denial about whether they need the services of that program, and they're going to be resistant. Miss Dorothy, she wanted to leave. She was waiting to be cleared from quarantine, and she says, I'm going to leave. I said, no, you're not. Sit down. And she says, well, no, I can't do this. And that's when I gave her Philippians 4:13. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. And she decided to stay. And I'm so happy that she did decide to stay. So that was very encouraging, just to know that she was willing and she recognized that she was broken and she needed the help. But I think a lot of the ladies, I know from talking to a lot of them, is that they come in and they don't realize their value or their worth. And I try to encourage them, know that you're valuable. God loves you. And I always tell them I love them. I tell them every time I talk to them, I love you. And they said, I get a little bit choked up, but anyway, I always tell them that I love them. And I mean it. When I tell them I love them, I do. And they really feel better and feel that they're loved, because they probably haven't heard it, or they haven't heard it that much, or, you know, so it makes a whole lot of difference. But I just always let them know, I love you, but I'm structured and I believe in rules and policies. You know, I will give you grace, but I'm also going to try to look out for what's best for you.
How do you not get choked up listening to that story that Leona shared? This service to the community is made possible by hundreds of volunteers. That's not an exaggeration. They give their time and their skills to the Mission. Listen to Mary Ann's story about why she chooses to serve.
We come here and we help serve the meals. We've been greeters, and we also come early sometimes and help prepare some of the food for the meals. Through State Line Church, we were in a rooted prayer group, and one of our outreaches was to find something in the community that we really felt strongly about. And so I suggested the Rockford Rescue Mission, because I knew people that had been here before and had a great experience, so it was a real blessing. I think, especially the first time I came, I just could feel the love here and the support of all the volunteers and the employees, and you could just feel a presence of, it was trying to make it a happy, loving place for these people, and it was just something that you enjoyed and wanted to be involved in more. When I first came here, we were serving lunch. There was an intermittent between lunch times, so I asked if we could go out and talk to some of the residents that were sitting here eating. They said, sure. So I went out and God led me to a lady, Monique, and she was sitting alone. And so anyway, I had a conversation with her, and I just felt God's presence, and I just felt like I wanted to. It just was just an example of how these people are so loving but yet lost, and that need love and support, and just lots of times our prayers, our actions, and our words make a huge difference here. So I want to do that. Until you come and try it, you have no idea what a blessing it will be, and I'm sure that it would be a positive experience. So I would definitely recommend it. And there's so many different things to do here and times, so you can plug into whatever you want to plug into according to your time schedule.
Oh, such great stories that we are hearing here over almost the first 30 minutes of the telethon. But I also want to introduce two very special people. We were having a little conversation not that long ago. I have owner of Advanced Chimney Systems, Brad Vanderhayden, and lead service technician Rex Randall here with me this evening, one of the many partners this evening of the telethon for the Rockford Rescue Mission. And we want to hear a little bit more first about Advanced Chimney Systems, and then of course your partnership and how you got involved with the rescue mission. So Brad, tell us a little bit about Advanced Chimney Systems.
Okay, we're a locally owned company, 37 years, maybe going on 38 years. We do install fireplaces, sell fireplaces, stoves, inserts, pretty much anything with fireplaces and chimneys we do. Selling, maintenance. And then the mission has always been near and dear to my heart. Sure. Going back to when the kids were little, doing some volunteer projects or serving, to maybe put a fireplace in when they had the cafe. We donated a fireplace, and just I'm passionate about what they do, changing lives and just helping people.
And that passion has to be, like you said, a big driver for why you want to be involved and your involvement in the mission. Now, Rex, this is really interesting. You are actually a graduate here of the program here at the mission. So tell us a little bit about that connection that you have here.
Actually, I was at my lowest point.
Sure.
And I just needed a way out. Mm-hmm. I had nowhere to go. I was lost. The mission actually was free, a program that I needed, and they also offered something that I needed the most, and that's Jesus.
Yes.
So I fully surrendered when I was in the program. I regained a relationship with family and loved ones that I thought were lost. I actually met Brad while I was in the program. Once I graduated, I started with Advanced Chimney. Since then, I've got a house, a wife, a dog, and I'm blessed.
It's been a complete life-changing event for you. So, well, thank you, Brad and Rex, so much here for joining us and for your support and that passion that you have here. Because without folks like you, really taking in, a big hug here. The mission, it really thrives on folks like you. So thank you so much for your involvement here for us this evening.
You're so welcome. This is just a little part. I mean, we just love what they do here.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
Sure thing, Candace.
Eric and Abby, back over to you.
There are so many hugs and smiles on
I
a night
love
like
it.
tonight. And we're just getting started. We're about halfway through. And if you can't tell, behind us, the phone bank is busy.
Quite busy.
It's cool. It's hard to tell because everybody has a headset on.
Right.
But the phones are ringing and they're busy taking pledges. We've had some pretty generous donations.
We do.
Over just not even a full half hour.
I know. Yeah, we've had some great pledges and gifts already. We want to thank our friends at Faith Center and WFEN for giving a gift of $500 to help support the mission. James and Lynn Butler, thank you for giving $200 to help support what's happening here at the mission. And Teresa Krull gave $100. Thanks, Teresa.
Dennis Stalen, we want to send a special thanks to you. $1,000 is Dennis's gift. Dwight Samuelson, a $50 gift. Kenneth Erickson, also $50. And Tom and Teresa Sheila, who Teresa is, I think she was just up on the screen, or maybe she will be soon. She's on our phone bank right now. Tom and Teresa gave $2,500. Longtime support. In fact, I think a little bit later on, we'll actually talk to Teresa as well.
It's incredible to see the generosity of so many people come together on a night like tonight. And we'd like to recap the premiums. So I got the pleasure of wearing one of the premiums. I have the gold version of the necklace that we have as a part of our premiums this evening. And we currently only have the silver necklaces left. So if you give a gift of $1,000 or more, you will receive a silver necklace from Clodius & Company, who's generously donated our premiums this evening. We're so thankful for them. And if you give a gift of $55 or more, you'll receive a custom art postcard created by residents here at the Mission on the theme of Block of Hope, which we're talking about tonight. So our premiums are going quick.
They are, and here's a reason why. Let's take a look at the tote board. We've read a lot of pledges, some big dollar amounts. Let's see where we're at now. $30,000 and some change. We are off to a great start, about a half hour in.
That's amazing. It's truly amazing.
We'll be back to start our second half hour of our Evening for Hope telethon in just a second.
Welcome to An Evening for Hope, a telethon benefiting Rockford Rescue Mission. An Evening for Hope is brought to you commercial-free thanks to our exclusive sponsor, Subway.
Good evening and welcome. I'm Eric Wilson.
I'm Abby Finley, Marketing and Communications Director of Rockford Rescue Mission.
And I'm Candace King.
We are here for the 25th annual Rockford Rescue Mission Evening for Hope telethon. Super exciting. It's also exciting that the Rockford Rescue Mission is celebrating 58 years of helping people in our community. That's a big number when you think of it. Nearly 6 decades of helping people. And throughout those 25 years of the telethon, your generous gifts have brought the total raised to $2.7 million. That is super impressive. Tonight you will get to hear about how your money goes to work changing lives. We'll hear some of the stories of the people who have really been touched by what happens here at the Mission.
Yeah, we're really excited to share stories of life change with you this evening, but it wouldn't be possible without Subway JPW, our sponsor for this evening. They're providing us the 2 commercial-free hours together to share all these incredible stories with you at home.
Yeah, over the next hour and a half, we will be introduced to 5 programs here at the Mission that work together to lead the life recovery residents to remarkable life change, just a complete change for them. So we have many great stories. We've already heard a couple of those in that first half hour that we want to continue to share that demonstrate hope, grace, and love here this evening.
Yeah, we want to highlight the ways also to give this evening. So the Mission receives no government funding. We're truly supported by our community, individuals, churches, businesses, choosing to give generously to the Mission each day, which we're so thankful for. The Mission also does not receive any United Way funding, which is why it's important for you to call in this evening to help give gifts to our telethon. That number is 815-966-2842, and that'll be on your screen also throughout the evening. We can take credit card gifts and pledges over the phone, or you could hop on our website, www.rockfordrescuemission.org, to give a gift. And if you're giving this evening, we have some premiums for you. If you give a gift of $55 or more, on the screen you'll see some art postcards created by our life recovery residents here at the Mission. Additionally, we have some really beautiful necklaces provided to us by Clodius & Company. So generous of them to be giving that to us this evening. Our premiums left are the silver cross necklaces. If you give us a gift of $1,000 or more tonight, you'll receive a beautiful silver cross necklace tied into that thing of Block of Hope.
You know, and when you call that number, 815-966-2842, we want to introduce you to the folks who will be answering those phones here for you this evening. Of course, you can call that number on your screen, or as Abby mentioned, go online, rockfordrescuemission.org. In our front row, we have Michael Lentini, COO of Subway JPW, Debbie Van Sistine, franchisee of Subway JPW, Melissa Van Sistine, franchisee Subway of JPW, Patty Krippendorf, Vice President of Helm Group, In our back row, we have Tim Clausen, Playground Director, Kids Around the World, and Rockford Rescue Mission Board Member. Next to Tim, we have Teresa Beach Shilo, Superior Joining Technologies, Warren Slabaugh, President of Heartwood Creations, and also a Rockford Rescue Mission Board Member, and Laura Ortiz, Rockford Rescue Mission Board Member. Thank you guys. They're busy here tonight, but thank you so much for your service here this evening. Of course, 815-966-2842. We want to keep them busy here for this next half hour. Eric?
They all have their game faces on. They're focused on taking those gifts over the phone, and we love it. We love to see them that busy. Rockford Rescue, we will throw a lot of numbers out at you tonight. This is a very impressive one. Rockford Rescue Mission served 142,617 meals last year to homeless, hurting, and hungry people in our community. And the mission would not be able to do this without dedicated staff and help from Life Recovery residents. Sean overcame a personal struggle while helping serve in the mission's food service program.
I've been drinking for about 15 years. It's gotten so bad where I've been through hospital to hospital for my alcohol abuse, and also getting into legal trouble, going to jail here or there. And it's actually jail that sent me to the Rockford Rescue Mission. I've been here for about 8 months, and I've noticed a major change in myself. At first, I thought I've been through so many programs that I failed at, and this program is the longest that I've ever been at, and I've noticed major changes and major things that I need to work on. I've accomplished a lot of things. I had a job in the kitchen that was serving beverages to the community, and I have social anxiety, so I asked for help with staff, and staff helped me out greatly. They helped me face my fear, and other residents at the mission. The guys here are great. They are definitely very supportive, and I could go to them with anything. It felt like a relief to get over the anxiety things that I was scared of. I noticed that it was just a false fear, and that I'm going to continue to struggle with that until I face the fears. I can't let it just continue on being scared of everything. I'm full of gratitude now, and I'm full of I'm more optimistic towards the future.
You know, serving those here at the mission is such a big role. Bobby, a staff member, says that love is the most important ingredient when cooking here at the mission.
A couple times I needed the mission. They never turned me down for help. They was always there. And they loved on me until I could start loving myself again. So I decided I want to be a part of their team. And I'm happy with what I do. You know, I love to cook. I love the people. I love planning different ideas, you know. I have to think about all the meals, preparation before they're done, even though I do have a menu, but still I have to, you know, figure out how I'm gonna make it better. I make it here like 4:45 every morning, and I first I just open all the doors up and, you know, start setting things up. And also I talk to my mom a lot in the kitchen, you know what I'm saying? We just, me and her and Jesus in there. We could talk, I could just be myself for a couple hours or hours, so, you know. So that keeps me joyful right there. My mother, it came through her and then through me, you know, because that's how she cooked for us. My grandmother, that's how she cooked. All of my uncles, they could cook, so they always cook with love. So if I had to cook at least once a month, it would be asparagus with baked chicken, sweet potatoes, because that was my mother's favorite dish. And I love that, you know, and I put different things on the asparagus like bacon and onion. You know, and I always try to encourage people when I can that if I could do it, I know you can, and that it's gonna be all right as long as we keep Jesus first. I wake up with him, I go to bed with him. All during the day I'm thanking him, you know, because that's really important for us to know that. And then I pray, Lord, please send me somebody. Yeah. Please send me somebody. Yeah. So we're waiting for you, you know. You just have to put your application in, talk to Miss Charmel, you know. Or come and just volunteer and see how you like it. See how you like working in the kitchen, or what else you would like to do here at the mission.
Bobby has truly been such a blessing to my life here at the Mission, and she is truly such a joy to work with. Next, let's hear how Sam and Betty, our dedicated fruit preparers, have found exciting volunteer opportunities at the Mission.
We enjoy working with fruit. We usually go through the fruit, sort out the good and the bad, and we usually make 2 big containers that they will serve either that day or the next day, maybe for breakfast or whatever. So we try to make it colorful and attractive, and he goes to the back room and sees what's available. So we work together and prepare fruit.
But we also, sometimes they don't have any fruit. And so we call Bobby up, one of the cooks, and ask her, what do you need? And our church has given me the permission to spend some money, and we go out and we will spend sometimes close to $1,000 just in buying supplies.
One of our ministers said it's a privilege for us to do that. And yeah, so they are happy to do that. And I have to say, if you would see the faces on the people in the kitchen when we bring these supplies back, they are so grateful that they have the food, the necessities that they need to prepare food for these people.
The staff, as well as some of the residents that work in the kitchen, they're very polite, they're thankful, appreciative of our effort.
It's a wonderful experience. It's very rewarding. It's a wonderful opportunity. I think that's what we're commanded to do, to help one another, to love one another, and it's just an opportunity to show God's love, and very rewarding experience.
That seems to be the theme whenever you talk about any of the volunteers here at Rockford Rescue Mission. The experience is very rewarding. I'm joined now by some smiling faces here. It's the Walter family, Debbie, Grant, and Mark, all from Lawn Care by Walter, one of the many partners for this year's telethon. They are owners and operators of Lawn Care by Walter. First of all, Debbie, I'm going to start with you mostly because you are the closest to me, because that's the simplest. Where does your passion for supporting the mission come from?
Our passion for supporting the mission is what they do here, all that they do for the community, for people in need. Until you come and visit the mission, you don't understand exactly all the things that they offer to the people. So I truly believe that you need to come, experience that, to see what they do for the people that are in need. Also, their saying that always says rescue, recover, and restore. That is exactly what the mission does for those people that are in need.
How did you get connected with Rockford Rescue Mission? We talked a little bit about this even at the beginning. We, as hosts of the show, Candace and I, really, that until we were involved in this telethon, you think of Rockford Rescue Mission, Rockford Rescue Mission helps the homeless, but there's so much more that the mission accomplishes, or the people that it connects with. How did you get connected with the mission?
We got connected with the mission by coming down and volunteering time by doing their Thanksgiving dinners, their Christmas dinners. We just really enjoyed that. We got to meet a bunch of wonderful people here. And then by going onto their website, seeing all the supplies and the needs that they needed for the mission to help with the dinners, with people that were staying here, those types of things. So we try to support that way as well. Also sending in checks to get other supplies that possibly that they might need for the mission.
Grant, you're nodding your head as Mom talks about some of this stuff. What do you get out of this? Why is volunteering so valuable to you?
He's autistic, and he enjoys helping at the dinners. He thinks that's a big.
Seeing smiles on people's faces is probably great, isn't it, Grant? Yeah. Well, we appreciate your support, not just being here tonight and talking about obviously Lawn Care for Walter. Is this the slow time of year for you? Are you prepping for when things warm up a little bit?
Well, actually, we still have been busy, even though we haven't had a lot of snow. Now that we have the snow, we're busy with snow plowing. So we go from one thing to the other.
Right. Once things green up, the mission changes, right?
Exactly.
Speaking of missions, thank you for being here. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Candace and Abby, over to you.
Thanks so much, Eric. Well, we've got some pledges to read here. You know, we've been hearing the phone ring. I know Sherry has been running kind of back and forth.
You might see her behind us.
Yes, exactly. 815-966-2842. Remember, we want to keep these guys busy here, and we love to hear the phone ring, but we want to acknowledge those that have called that number here this evening and have pledged that gift.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have some gifts here to read. Kathy Hallstrom gave a gift of $100. Thank you, Kathy. Jerry and Beth Johnston gave a $300 gift this evening. That's truly life-changing. Bruce and Lynn Gullick gave $400 this evening. Thank you. We have a gift from Peggy Moore in honor of Dorothy Moore. Peggy, thank you for giving in honor of Dorothy. We have a gift from Trudy and Herb Watterson. Thank you, Trudy and Herb. And then a gift from Dennis Thorne in honor of Jake Thorne. Thank you so much for giving this evening.
Yeah, and sometimes, you know, you work a lot here at the mission. And so, you know, you see kind of the ins and outs and you know what goes on. You know, some people may think, well, I don't necessarily have $100 or I don't have $200 to give. But really any sort of donation, and it may not necessarily have to be a monetary donation. Volunteering too is such a big thing for you guys here.
Yeah, giving of time is truly so valuable. We couldn't do what we do here at the mission without our volunteers. Absolutely.
Yes, and so we checked in last time with what we've had here for the first half hour. It was $30,000, which is quite an accomplishment within that first 30 minutes, but we want to get an updated total on that. We are up to $53,419. Thank you guys so much. Remember that goal, $120,000, and so we are almost halfway there. So thank you so much. And we do have a couple premiums left. I mean, they've gone fairly quickly. Yes, and so we have 5 of the crosses, the silver crosses, and that goes for the gift of $1,000, correct? The one-time gift of $1,000 or more for that. We've got 5 of those silver crosses left.
Yep, at the moment we do,
Yes, and of course there's a couple other, no, there's not actually, right? The premiums?
No, so we also have the art card.
The art.
So $55 or more receives an art card by our recovery residents, you know, work together to create some beautiful art pieces for these premiums. $55 or more.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're going to next talk about our Life Recovery Program. Rockford Rescue Mission's Life Recovery Program is an opportunity for people to truly rebuild and change their lives. Let's hear from Chief Program Officer Josh Zimmerman more about that.
Life Recovery is hope. Life Recovery is a second chance. Life Recovery is looking in the mirror and saying, what am I doing? Who am I? Where am I going? And I need something different. I tell this to all the residents in the program is, you know the worst of you. What would it look like to live in the best of who you are? And that's what we do. We help you see who God truly made you to be and how to live in that. Sure, we all have destructive things like drugs, alcohol, gambling that take us down, but it's so much bigger than that. And so Life Recovery helps you see who you truly are and how to live in a life that is not this facade, this fakeness of quick gratification, but to live in this true sense of, I got great skills, great abilities, and I can give back to society in such a great way. And to live year after year in that is hard, but beautiful. And when we can start seeing those lives transform, that's what the program, the meat of that program is seeing someone step into who God has truly made them to be. And that nothing can stop them. And they lay down this addiction, they lay down all this stuff to step into truth and life. And every day they choose truth, life, hope. And life recovery happens. So it's a holistic view. So our program is designed to see life massively transformed from a holistic view through classes, work, fun. All of that together helps them move into who God has called them to be.
seeing those transformations is really pretty amazing. 87 men and women found help in the Mission's Life Recovery Program. Amy is one of them. Let's listen to how she overcame her struggles with substance use.
I came here because I needed to. I brought myself here. I wasn't ordered to be here, but I came here and I was very angry because I didn't want to put my life on hold. I didn't talk to people. I didn't share my problems. I remember saying, no, I'm not going to stay in transition. I'm going to leave as soon as I can. And as time moved on and I got comfortable with my Genesis coach and with the other staff members, I had a moment of vulnerability, and I went in my room and I sat on the ground and I just sat there and I waited, and I finally let my heart open up, and I had a moment of peace that I had never had. You know, you can't get rid of me now. I now have hope that life is going to be what God has promised, and I see that, and I touch it, I feel it, I see it every single day. And it's amazing. You know, they have a way of just loving you the way you are and not for who you could be. That's exactly how I feel the mission is. You know, they welcomed me the way I was, and now I'm a much better version of myself, and I have no one to thank but them and God. So I'm finishing my bachelor's in business administration, and the work center had a big part to play with it. That's whenever I decided I was going to apply. I wasn't sure if I would get in, but I applied to U of I Springfield, and I got my acceptance letter while I was at the work center. I was so happy. The staff there was great. All the people, all my fellow residents were so excited for me, and I still have the acceptance letter. I had always thought I should go back to school, over the last 20 years, and I have the opportunity to do that now. Well, now I would like to do something similar to the mission. I would like to give back and help people the way that I've been helped, and be that, that sense of hope for someone maybe. The biggest word I have is hope, because I didn't have it before I got here. If it can work for so many, why not try it and see if it can work for you? And that's what it's about. It's about showing someone else that it can be done.
I truly just want to say how proud I am of Amy and all of the things she's accomplished here at the Mission and the Life Recovery Program, and how hard she works. It's truly been a blessing to come alongside her and chat with her and get to know who she is. Next, let's hear from Ruby, a Mission staff member, how empathy and listening ears have been her greatest tools while serving our women in the Life Recovery Program.
I remember growing up, my dad was a young adult pastor, and we had a lot of people just like in and out of our home, and I just remember I didn't know a lot about what their stories were. I just knew that they came to our house and we loved them, and so I kind of tried to take that approach onto the floor here. I don't know where people have come from, and as time goes on, they share their stories and stuff, but you don't know in the beginning, and so I sit and listen a lot is what a lot of my job is, because I work in the evening, so the program day is done, so people are a lot of times just sort of processing stuff that's come up in classes or throughout the day, and so they're winding down, and whenever we wind down is whenever we get in our heads. So I get to sit and listen to a lot of people's stories. I think you just really get a sense of what it looks like to really understand other people, because you're kind of in a situation where you're forced to have to, in a sense, kind of almost psychoanalyze what's going on around you, because everyone's acting so differently than your frame of reference, and you have to go, okay, why do people think like this? Why do I think like this? And it's just really helped me kind of develop a sense of empathy for other people. It gives me a chance to sort of just ask questions instead of just immediately assuming something. I can go, okay, well, why do you think that? Why do you feel this way? Why is this specific thing bothering you? Whereas before, I think before those experiences, I would have just dismissed that as, well, oh, well, I've experienced the world this way. Obviously you have too, but that, as we know, that's not the case for so many people. There are no bad questions. It's okay to have doubts and fears and to just grow and learn from those. People will act a certain way, and you have to just remember, hey, people come into our home and we love them. And whenever they leave, hopefully if they take nothing else, I hope that they take that, we love them. I think it's important to reach out for help, and a lot of times when we get applications, it's people who are, recognizing that first big hurdle, which is I have a problem and I need help.
Oftentimes that is the very biggest hurdle for anyone who is seeking help. You know, Pastor Dave, Mission Board member and Elder Council member, and his family have had an eternal impact on Mission guests here and residents. Hear more about their hearts for those who come through the doors.
You know, before I came here, I was in the ministry 30 plus years, and I don't think my ministry ever really took shape and hit the ground until I started coming here, which was, 5-6 years ago. And the difference is an organization that is working, and it actually works. It's an extension of the kingdom of God, it's an extension of the church, and it is mingling and interfacing with people who are really going through it. They're in that margin of space and time where they're having a really hard time. And we encounter them, they come here, and they go through a transformation where we take them from wherever they are and we get to offer them back to the world over a period of time where they actually can make a contribution to the world around them, which is really wonderful. And so I kind of am up in front. I talk, I am an elder, I teach, I interact with the residents. My wife and my son and a bazillion other volunteers are in the behind the scenes. And so they handle a lot of the materials that are donated. They just really started coming and started volunteering. I would tell them stories and what we needed, and I told them, you'd be great working in the B side or working in the supply area. And we need some order out of all these donations. And Sarah and James just went right to work, and they loved it. And so before you know it, they couldn't wait to come here. It's amazing when you have the love of God shown in really demonstrative ways through the volunteers, the staff, where this is what we believe. We believe that God is real, that He's alive, that He's here, that He's now, that He's working, and we get to join with Him in what He's doing. And we get to see that coming to fruition in the lives of our guests. It's wonderful.
This really is one of those places where you can see the impact almost immediately, or even over a span of several weeks or so. Betsy Pearson is here with me now. She's the Chief Investment Officer for Midland Wealth Management and Midland Trust Company, of course, one of the many partners here at Rockford Rescue Mission, and specifically with our telethon. Betsy, thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Maybe more importantly, thank you for Midland's support. I mean, Midland is one of those companies where you see the name out a lot because it's really involved in the community. Why is that important for Midland?
Midland believes it is a community bank, a community financial services company, and the community is the heart of all of our business, along with our customers. Without the customers, the community is not alive, and so we believe that community is the heart.
And when you say community, that's a pretty broad brush, right? Why specifically Rockford Rescue Mission?
Well, Rockford Rescue Mission does a great service for our community. It enables people who are seeking help to find their way to make their lives better and get on the right track. And this organization has done it in a wonderful manner for many years.
Tell us a little bit about the company and how the company gets employees involved in supporting the mission.
So we as an organization believe that donating time and effort and even money into the community is a very important part. You have to do that, and to the mission is specifically. We've been involved, we've done financial wellness training for the employees as well as the people who participate in this program, and we also believe that we are helping them be good stewards of the financial resources that the mission has been allotted.
That's one of those things maybe that you might take for granted when you look at, okay, well, people might be here because they have substance use struggles or things like that. But when they're out, simple things like checkbook and managing money and things like that, those are important skills, life skills, right?
They are life skills, as well as we are very involved in community development for people who are underserved. We have made that a program that we believe is very important as an institution to provide to different people in all of our communities that we serve.
Well, as Midland customers, my wife and I are very proud that the company's so involved in the community.
Well, thank you.
Betsy, thanks so much. Thanks for being here. Abby, Candace, over to you.
Thank you so much, Eric.
We have some pledges to read.
Yes, we do.
People have been so generous and calling in. Again, that number is 815-966-2842. Keep those phones ringing. We got a good phone bank behind us. And they're about to change out. We're about to get a new set of people coming in.
So we'll have to introduce you to those new folks here.
Yeah, here in a little bit.
Half hour.
So we're here to thank Cheryl Barrett, Henry Billert, Bill and Kathleen Carlson. Bill and Kathleen gave $3,500. Thank you, Bill and Kathleen.
Yes, thank you.
Sally Schold, Malia Wilson, Tammy Ann Whitney giving $100. Thank you, Tammy Ann. Ben Schleider, Walter and Virgie Hummy, John and Dawn Bates giving $25. Thank you so much. Everybody giving this evening is truly impacting the lives of countless people here in the Rock River Valley.
Yes, even if you think it isn't much, it is a lot. So thank you again so much for that. We want to check in to see where we stand right now. Last check-in, we were at $53,419. Let's go ahead and see where we're at right now, $61,439. So we are making that way, yes, here as we've gotten into our final hour here of the telethon. We're getting right into that. So thank you guys so much for your generous gifts here to the mission. 815-966-2842.
Welcome to An Evening for Hope, a telethon benefiting Rockford Rescue Mission. An Evening for Hope is brought to you commercial-free thanks to our exclusive sponsor, Subway.
Good evening and thanks for being here. I'm Eric Wilson.
I'm Candace King. And I'm Abby Finley, Marketing and Communications Director here at Rockford Rescue Mission.
We are so glad you've decided to join us for the 25th annual Evening for Hope Telethon here
That's
at
amazing.
Rockford Rescue Mission.
Yes.
And we're very close to celebrating 6 decades of Rockford Rescue Mission serving the community, so on top of those 25 years of telethon. And just to do the simple math, 25 years of telethon, your generous donations have brought the total raised to $2.7 million. That goes a long way in helping people recover in our community. Tonight, you will hear actually how your gifts and see how your gifts have specifically helped people who come to the mission for help and provide this solid foundation of hope for men, women, and children throughout the Rock River Valley.
Yes, we're so excited to share these life-changing stories with you this evening, but we could not have done it without the help of our exclusive partner, Subway, for providing this 2 hours of commercial-free time with you in your home possible.
Yeah, throughout this evening, we will be introduced to 5 programs of the mission here that work together to lead life recovery residents to remarkable life change. We have heard many great stories, and we are going to hear many more in this last half hour, and we want to share those with you that demonstrate hope, grace, and love. And those are 3 words that we have heard a lot of here throughout this telethon so far.
Absolutely. We just want to give you a quick rundown of ways to give this evening. You can give us a call at 815-966-2842 and give a gift using your credit or debit card. Again, you can call us at 815-966-2842, as well as jumping on our website, www.rockfordrescuemission.org. We have some incentives for you to give this evening. If you give a gift of $55 or more, you'll receive an art postcard. These art pieces have been created by life recovery residents here at the mission on that Block of Hope theme, which is pretty incredible. And then Clodius and Company has donated some really beautiful pieces of jewelry to the telethon, like they have done for many, many years. At this moment, we have 2 silver necklaces left. If you give a gift of $1,000 or more, you'll receive a silver cross necklace. You'll want to call here soon, as we only have 2 of those necklaces left.
Yeah, they have gone fairly quickly here. We've had a little bit of a changing of the guard, so to speak. So when you call that number, 815-966-2842, we want to introduce you to those that you will be speaking to here this evening. But first, before we do that, we want to hear a little bit more about the mission from Board Chair Ann Dittmar and Mission CEO Sherry Pitney.
Good evening. I'm Sherry Pitney, CEO of Rockford Rescue Mission.
And I'm Ann Dittmar, Chair of the Mission Board. Welcome to our 25th Annual Evening for Hope Telethon. Through the amazing stories shared this evening, you will hear about the life-changing programs offered at the mission. Since 1964, we have provided food, clothing, and shelter for the homeless, hungry, and hurting in our community. But really, we are about so much more.
We are constantly asking, what more can we do? How do we get better at helping people move from cycles of suffering and dependency to flourishing and hope-filled lives? We love the word hope, which means to look forward to something with desire and reasonable confidence. But at the mission, hope means even more.
Our rescue work spans an entire city block and beyond. On our block of hope, people overcome barriers and come to believe that a better life is possible. And there's an even more significant meaning because life transformation in people's lives happens one building block at a time.
You'll hear stories tonight about how the mission's programs and caring staff provide the first solid foundation that our guests and residents have experienced in a very long time, maybe ever. Most importantly, they discover their true cornerstone in a relationship with Jesus, which is the foundation for everything we do.
Stay tuned in to hear how the missions programs form a healing community in this block of hope. We want to thank WTVO for their long partnership in hosting this telecast. And a very special thanks to our exclusive sponsor, Subway JPW, for making this evening possible.
For nearly 59 years now, the mission's doors have been open because of the compassionate generosity of individuals, churches, organizations, and businesses, because of caring friends just like you. We know you'll be touched by hearing the Change Life stories tonight, and we ask you to please give to support this life-transforming block of hope.
Yes, and we want to give a big thank you to those who are watching here too this evening, and for those who have given your generous gifts already to the mission. We've got a little under an hour left of our telethon. Our goal tonight, $120,000. I know we are going to get there. We are just over $68,000, so we want to see that number go up. And the number for you to call, 815-966-2842. Now we want to introduce you to those who you will be speaking to when you call that number in our front row. Some of the faces you may even see are a little familiar from earlier in the telethon. Brandon Wilhelm, president of Subway JPW. Next to Brandon, we have Mackenzie Welch, assistant manager, Subway JPW. Jasmine Ruvalo, manager, Subway JPW. Noel Stierett, attorney. Dalton and Tomich, and also a Rockford Rescue Mission board member. In our back row, we have Ron Billy, architect, 1919 Architects and Rockford Rescue Mission board member. You saw Ann Dittmar just a little bit ago, Rockford Rescue Mission board member. We spoke with Brad Vander Hayden, owner of Advanced Chimney Systems. And next to Brad, Debbie Walter, owner, operator of Lawn Care by Walter. Thank you guys so much for your time. And of course, 815-966-2842. That is the number you want to call. We want to keep these folks busy here in our next hour. Abby?
Thanks, Candace. Tonight I'm here with Sheriff Gary Caruana. Thanks for being with us this evening.
Absolutely.
Sheriff Caruana is here to talk about how he's seen the mission be a block of hope in our community throughout the last couple of years.
Well, great. It's an honor to be here, so I appreciate you having me. It has been a block of hope because, you know, they are reaching out to a Christian-based organization, which I appreciate, and they're right across the street from the Justice Center. And, you know, there's lots of times that we're working with our inmates in the jail with different programs, but they're released and they need somewhere to go. They need additional help.
Right.
And they can come here, and that additional help is here, and that's why I really support it. They give them, you know, life skills, you know, job skills. They have medical, they have dental, and they have food that they could provide them and help them get back on their feet after being incarcerated. So we want to do that. I mean, we want to make sure that what we start as far as the programs, we continue over here just across the street. So I'm very happy that we're part of the support team.
Yes, absolutely. I love how you talked about we're taking care of the whole person, right?
Right.
Medical, food, vocational training.
Exactly.
How crucial is that in the community and the population you serve?
Well, the population we serve is very crucial because, you know, again, they're coming out of an incarcerated type of environment, and they need that help. They need somewhere to go, and that's what we want to do. Again, we have the programs up in the jail, but I want to be able to make sure that they still continue with these programs and still get the help they need. And that's great. I'm happy that they're here because, again, they're not on the street. They're not walking the streets. There's somebody here to help them out and get that extra help where we can get them, hopefully, the job skill, the interview skills, at the same time, the medical, the dental, the food.
Yes, absolutely. Sheriff Caruana, thanks for joining us this evening.
Yeah,
it's good to see you.
Yeah,
Candace,
definitely.
over to you.
You know, the mission does so much and has so much involvement, you know, throughout the community. And it's not just here in the Rockford area, but it is throughout the region. You know, tonight we have heard many stories about how your gifts this evening help support those who are here at the mission. But some very interesting numbers when we put that actually kind of into perspective. 500, that's the number on average meals that are served daily. That's 500 daily. 170 average people, that's the number of average number of people, I should say, staying here at the mission each and every night. And of course that number can fluctuate depending on what is going on. 5,440 medical, dental, and chiropractic appointments at the Hope Clinic each year, and 430 participants in education and career training, which we've heard has been so valuable through the Works Center. So your gift here tonight goes a very long way. And of course, it's important to know that it's not, the rescue mission is not a United Way member, and it does not receive any sort of funding, government funding. So all the money that is raised or comes into the mission is through your generous gifts tonight. $120,000, Eric, is our goal here this evening. We're almost halfway there. There's been so much support here for the mission.
Thanks, Candace. Right, we're almost, in fact, I think we're a tad over the halfway mark when we got to the top of 8 o'clock. It's fantastic. We heard Candace and Abby both talk about familiar faces. How about this face? This face looks familiar, not just from telethon, but Teresa Beach Shiloh and I have been friends for a long time. We've known each other for years. Teresa and her husband Tom founded Superior Joining Technologies, now running the company, clearly.
Yes.
It's no surprise to me, knowing how involved you are in the community, that you are here tonight.
Yeah.
I've been lucky enough to visit your place several times throughout the years. For someone who doesn't know what Superior Joining Technologies does, what is your business?
Well, we're a job shop, but we focus on aerospace, and we do precision welding, non-destructive testing, and then lots of laser things, laser cutting and welding.
Lots of cool laser things, and
Yeah.
there's some 3D printing going on.
Yes.
It's fun.
Yes.
The plasma, the 3D laser cutter is, I could stare at that all day.
Yes.
How did this relationship between Superior Joining Technologies and the rescue mission come about?
Well, Tom and I, when we were dating, helped with the rescue mission, and we've supported it all the years, and we just celebrated our 45th wedding anniversary, so many years of supporting the rescue mission.
And so we talk about how a rescue mission is 58 years old this year. For almost that whole time, you and Tom have been supporting.
Yes.
That's amazing. Why is there are a lot of causes in the community to help out.
Yes.
Why specifically do you choose to help Rockford Rescue Mission?
Well, there are people in our community that sacrifice their life to support and change and come alongside other people. And the people that are here at the rescue mission do that. And we want to support them the best that we can.
Well, we appreciate you being here and just all around being involved in the community and helping make this a better place.
Thank you.
Teresa, it's good to see you. Tell Tom
Thank you.
I said hello.
I will. Thank you.
Abby and Candace, over to you.
Thank you so much, Eric. We want to get to some more numbers here and give a big thanks to those who have already made their donation tonight.
Yes, absolutely. Let's read some pledges together. Greg Holcomb donated $50 here to our telethon. Pam Bloom donating $500. Thank you, Pam. The Tillman family is donating $86 in memory of Cora Tillman. Thank you, Tillman family. John and Cindy Wiley donating $55. Thank you. Gary and Darlene Patton, $50 gift to us this evening. Thank you so much. And Mike and Debbie Van Sistine donating $1,000 to us this evening. Thank you for your support.
Yes, thank you. And of course, without those generous gifts and donations here tonight, you know, just so much support for the rescue mission throughout the community. We have one premium gift left.
we do.
That is our Silver Cross necklace for $1,000, your gift here to the mission. There's one left. We started with 5, I believe it was 5.
Silver.
And they have gone very quickly quickly here. So there's one left. Maybe you will be the new lucky owner of that. And of course, we have this beautiful artwork of a generous gift of $55 or more here this evening. 815-966-2842. That is the number to call. Of course, you can always donate online at rockfordrescuemission.org. Now, earlier we said that goal was $120,000. We are just a little over halfway there. We are now up to $73,435. Guys, that is wonderful. That deserves a big round of applause. So thank you so much. We want to keep those phones ringing, keep our folks busy here, keep Sherry running around, and the folks entering in those numbers busy here this evening. Eric?
That tote board number is always a fun one to check out throughout the evening. Here's another impressive number. Hope Clinic provided more than 5,400 medical, chiropractic, and dental appointments this year. Upon entering the recovery program, Candace did not expect the surprise of a lifetime, but thanks to the help of Hope Clinic, she's been supported throughout an unexpected journey.
Before the mission, my life was very chaotic. I was involved in a lot of abusive relationships, and I was really mostly searching for my place in the world and my purpose, and I didn't really know where to begin or how to start living again. I was having a conversation with my mom, and we were talking about my relationship with God and how it's kind of been absent over the past couple years. And I knew in my heart I needed to change. I needed to make a change and do something about it. And she had pushed me, to take that step of faith and step out and be uncomfortable and learn how to live a healthy way and do new things the right way. I found out I was pregnant my second month after coming to the mission. I was surprised. I was mostly scared of having to kind of do it alone, being a single mom and being away from my family, and I didn't know what it would look like as far as the rest of my recovery, and would I get to finish the program and still attain the things that I came here to learn while being pregnant, and how the support would work with the girls and staff and not having a job. But I was reassured multiple times that I would never be doing this alone, that God is with me every step of the way. And being supported by staff and the other girls has really made an impact in my life. Nurse Jen was the first person I went to when I suspected. And we went to take a test and found out I was. And she has been there every step of the way, helping with prenatals and vitamins, and providing me with resources to other places that help with emotional support. And the Hope Clinic has been able to help me with even diapers, clothes, wipes, everything you could think of that you need for a baby. They've been able to provide me with and help me with getting. The baby's name is Carter. I have a 10-year-old son, Caden, so I think I wanted to stick with the C's. So I think Caden and Carter sounds really cute together. And my son helped me pick out the name also, so I had to put his opinion into consideration. The mission in general has helped me so much. It's unbelievable. I'm so grateful for everything that they've provided for me, emotionally and physically, going to Sheila's closet and picking out clothes and blankets and little hats and socks. It's awesome. And even just as far as a stroller and a car seat, it's really awesome to know how supported I am and how much people care and how they show it just with checking in or prayer or coming with me to appointments. And I feel with like the support of the mission, that like today I have like the courage to kind of step into who God created me to be as like a mother and a daughter and a sister and just an all around like independent woman in Christ. And for that, that's something that I'll carry with me for the rest of my life and I will be forever grateful for.
Well, how could you not just smile after seeing that video? Oh, and that little baby, such a wonderful joy there. 815-966-2842. Our phones have kind of gone silent, so we want to get those numbers coming in, and we want to get the phones ringing and keep our next round of folks here at the phone bank busy. So 815-966-2842. Teresa Reverts is the Program Support Services Director here at the Mission. She is here to let us know why it is so important for individuals staying at the Mission to have access to necessary medical and dental care.
My role here at the Mission is Director of Program Support Services, which supports the crisis program and the recovery program, such as the food service, the Hope Clinic, and the Work Center. When the pandemic hit, we had to really up our sanitation processes in every department in order to keep the people that were inside the house safe, as well as we had to mask up, gown up, everything else when they would see patients here in the clinic. Plus then we had to be really cautious of the people that went home, because truly the people inside the Mission were not the ones who were getting COVID. It was the staff who could still go to the grocery store were getting COVID and bringing it back in. You know, Jennifer was going up to the floors and seeing the really sick people every single day or twice a day to make sure that they didn't need hospitalization. Some things I really loved about the pandemic is the way the residents in our recovery program pulled together when they were shut down for the 7th, 8th time, because every time they were shut down, it was for 2 weeks. And that can be a long stint with being in your house for that time. And then the people that had to go in quarantine, they really got a lot of care from the other residents that were up there. So I think we pulled together as a family. The Mercy Health doctors do see patients. We have 2 volunteer doctors who come in and see patients and get them their bridge prescriptions that they need if they've been off their medications for whatever reason. And so then we can point them to a primary care physician. We have a great number of volunteers here at the clinic. Chiropractors come in weekly to see our patients. We have dental hygienists and dentists, which is great because some people have gone years and years without having a teeth cleaning. People who've been out there living on the streets or in their addiction haven't taken care of themselves. It is so important to be able to welcome people in and get them the kind of care that they need, and our nurse Jen will push and push so they get the good quality care that they should be getting. There's really specific needs that they have, and Jen does a great job of tending to that. We had one gentleman who came in, he had a burn and didn't have any place to get the burn dressing changed, so for months our nurse Jen changed the dressing for him and took care of him. He wasn't going to get through recovery, he wasn't going to do it. Well, because of her love and the care that he received here, he went through the program. He's living a good, solid life now, which is just absolutely amazing.
We have lots of phone bank volunteers here this evening, eager to connect with you. Again, that number is 815-966-2842 to call in your gift today to our Evening of Hope Telethon. Mercy Health Cancer Center desires to reach the most vulnerable in our community to provide free cancer screenings. Let's hear how Mercy Health and the Mission connected together to provide life-saving cancer care.
I'm a licensed clinical social worker with our Mercy Health Cancer Center. Well, we do a cancer screening event every year, and we really wanted to target a population that was unlikely or possibly unable to access cancer screenings. And so I contacted Teresa Reverts here at the Rockford Rescue Mission and said, hey, would you be interested in helping, or do you think your residents and guests would be interested in a screening? And she said, Yes. And so from then, that was a couple of years ago, and since then we've just kind of been working together each year to create events to help with screening for cancers. In 2021 we did an oral cancer screening event, and we actually did it here at the Rockford Rescue Mission. We brought over our occupational health bus and had physicians on the bus as well as in the exam rooms here. And then this past year, and just in October, we did a breast cancer screening event, and the Rockford Rescue Mission brought women who are interested in getting free mammograms over to our Women's Center. We actually, in both events, identified participants who needed follow-up, and fortunately were early. Even just for example, in our breast cancer screening event, we had 3 women as a result of the mammograms that were identified as having concerning or suspicious findings, and so they needed additional testing. The Rockford Rescue Mission was so incredible to work with because the staff care so much about the residents, and they were able to get them to the appointments that they needed to go to, and then providers were able to provide education to those women as well about things that they needed to do for their future to make sure that they stay on top of those concerns that were identified.
Well, once again, that number, 815-966-2842, that is the number you want to call here to give your gift this evening. This familiar face standing next to me, thank you so much. We have Patty Krippendorf, Vice President of Helm Group, the first hour of our telethon. Yes. You were helping to answer the phone, so thank you so much for joining me here this evening and for being a part of our Evening for Hope telethon. We want to hear a little bit more about the desire for you and for Helm Group for the support here for the mission. So tell me a little bit about Helm Group.
So Helm Group is a full-service mechanical contractor doing plumbing, electrical, HVAC. And we got connected with the mission actually through a couple of our employees. John Huber, when he started with us, shared the story because his sister Sherry, is involved here. So it's a family thing. And the Helm Group is such a family-focused, team-oriented organization, and it was a good fit. So we actually did the tour with Sherry, and it touched our hearts immediately, and that's been years and years ago. But when you walk through and you do the tour and you see the Women's Center and you see the hope, you see the young kids, and you know that there's a future there, and that's what this is about. They don't take any government money, so God can be the focus and center of really knowing what your purpose is.
Yes, exactly. And the tour, I think when you come in and you take that, it's kind of an eye-opening experience, for those who maybe don't necessarily know what the mission does or kind of have one idea versus another. What encourages you guys what encourages you to keep going and keep supporting the mission?
Faith, hope, and love, and that's exactly what this place represents. So to be a part of it, and the mission does lean on our organization to help support. So the refrigeration, the heating, the air conditioning, we've got mechanics here that are supporting them as they are planting seeds and continuing what their faith-focused mission is to help people.
Yes. Oh, well, thank you so much, Patty, for joining me, and thank you so much for your continued support here for the mission and for joining us here this evening.
And thank you. We always love seeing you. So.
Thank you. Eric and Abby?
There's that faith, hope, and love theme that we've heard throughout the night. We're already an hour and a half into our 2-hour telethon.
Can you believe that?
We're about to wrap up our third half hour, and we've got some numbers to share.
Yes.
First of all, if you are counting on one of those incentives, it's a really good sign that people are calling in because there's really only one big incentive left.
Yes.
It's a silver necklace.
It is.
One of them. $1,000 will get you that silver necklace.
Yes.
The other impressive part is that we had 2 of these beautiful necklaces that you are wearing from Cody &
the
Company.
honor of wearing it this evening.
$3,500 gift got you one of those necklaces. Those are gone.
Absolutely, yeah. People are being so generous this evening. We have some pledges to read as well.
Let's do that.
Yeah, so Cindy Fry, thank you for giving your $30 this evening to our telethon. Kathy Woodard, $30. Thank you for your generous gift. Peter Malik, $55 gift. Thank you for giving. We have Teresa Reverts giving $200 in honor of Mark Wallace. He was a beloved volunteer here at the mission, so dedicated that we recently lost. So Teresa, thanks for giving in honor of Mark. Nora and Todd Schmidt giving $50 in honor of Phyllis Schmidt. Lewis Wallace is giving $50 in memory of Gloria Wallace, and Shirley Gibson giving $200 this evening to our telethon. How generous is that?
Well, and Teresa's gift is really a sign of how, and it sounds cliche to say, but this is a family. Rockford
really
Rescue
is.
Mission is a family when it comes to whether someone you serve or someone who volunteers or someone who's on the staff.
Right.
And you know, Teresa making that donation in someone's name or giving that gift in someone's name really says a lot. And I think I briefly mentioned we had one silver necklace. Apparently that's gone.
Oh, amazing. There we go.
It just left the board as we were talking. So, again, another sign of how generous our community is around here. How about a bigger sign? Should we look at the big number?
We should.
Let's
do it.
Let's turn the tote. We were at 73. This is our previous number. What's the new number? 79,201. We are marching along, so our goal is 120.
Yes.
We've got about a half hour left to do that. 966-2842 is the number that you've been seeing all night, hearing all night. We are going to repeat that at least for the next 30 minutes or so. You can also give online.
Absolutely. Yep, those are great ways to give.
We will start that final half hour of our telethon in just a minute or two.
Welcome to An Evening for Hope, a telethon benefiting Rockford Rescue Mission. An Evening for Hope is brought to you commercial-free thanks to our exclusive sponsor, Subway.
Thank you again for spending some of your time with us. I'm Eric Wilson.
I'm Candace King. And I'm Abby Finley, Marketing and Communications Director at Rockford Rescue Mission.
We are really proud to be here celebrating 58 years of Rockford Rescue Mission in our community. Not only that, 25 years of the telethon, which we found out that Candace has been here for at least half of those. Pretty close.
Still
11 or
can't
12 of
believe
them.
it. Yeah,
It flies by.
It really
right?
does. It doesn't seem like that, but very happy to be a part of it.
And speaking of flying by, it seems like 2 hours of continuous television seems like a lot of time. We only have a half hour left.
We do. We have a half hour to meet that goal, $120,000.
And we've got a lot to do in that half hour. We're really going to share more of how your gifts help Rockford Rescue Mission, and we'll do that by sharing stories of people who have been affected by what the mission does here throughout the Rock River Valley.
Yeah, the life-changing stories that we're sharing with you this evening truly would not be possible without the support of Subway JPW, our exclusive sponsor this evening, that's bringing this commercial-free hours with you in your homes possible.
Yeah, you know, during this time together, we have heard stories over the last hour and a half of how the programs here have really helped to change the lives. And we've been able to introduce programs of the mission that work together to lead life recovery residents to remarkable life change. We have had many great stories. We've heard many great stories. We are going to continue to hear those and share those with you that demonstrate really the theme here for us tonight, that hope, grace, and love. And you talked about the mission being that block,
right?
You know, and really providing that support.
Yeah, figuratively and literally, right? Like when you drive past the mission, we're a city block long and a city block wide, but oftentimes when people are coming into our crisis centers or recovery program, this is the first solid foundation that they've had in a long time. So we're excited to be that block of hope for our community. But we couldn't do it without you. We want to just explain the ways to give this evening. You can give us a call at 815-966-2842. Our phone bank behind us will answer your call and chat with you and receive your gift so graciously and thankfully. It's really important that our community, you know, continues to support the mission because we receive no government funding. We're supported by individuals, churches, and businesses being generous with their finances, time, and items. We do not receive any United Way funding either. So truly, community supporting this life-changing work here at the mission. Again, that's 815-966-2842, or you can visit our website, rockfordrescuemission.org. We have our card premiums left. All of our Clodius necklaces have gone.
Yes, they
which
have.
is very exciting, and Clodius has done a fabulous job of, you know, giving such beautiful jewelry to us this year, and we're thankful for them. But we have art postcards left for those who give $55 or more. You'll see them on your screen. Our residents have worked hard creating these beautiful pieces off that Block of Hope theme.
We've talked about a lot of numbers so far in the last 90 minutes or so. Here's another one to share with you. 430 individuals participated in education and career training through Works Center last year. Rockford Rescue Mission offers guests and residents educational classes and vocational training through Works Center. Albert improved his math skills while rebuilding his life in the men's recovery program.
I'm 62 years old, been addicted to alcohol and drugs since the age of 19 years old. And what brought me here was my third DUI. I found myself lost and with no place to go. And that's what brought me to the Rockford Rescue Mission. I struggled with math and reading because of the effects of using had on my life. When I came to the work center, I met Chris, and his demeanor stuck to me. So I wanted to give up. He never let me give up, him and Barb. And so I brought my grade levels up 5 levels. Since I've been at the mission, I got a personal relationship with God. My hope for the future, I'm planning on opening my own business, landscaping and snow removal. I also plan to continue going to recovery meetings regularly. The best words to describe my life today is faith and hope, because they give me hope for the future.
Well, Chris, former Works Center supervisor, had a front row seat to watch guests and residents through educational and career classes. Hear about the important work taking place at the Works Center.
I am the Work Center supervisor, and basically what I go ahead and do is I make sure that our residents and our guests are taken care of when it comes to education and employment. We do have classes here for both clientele. We want to bring up, kind of beef up their academics, and what we want to really do is help them to think in terms of career. What is it that I really love to do? What do I have a passion for? And then make those steps, make that plan to go ahead and get there. Honestly, there are some students here that come here that kind of like, they kind of roll their eyes and then why do I have to be here? But Albert's been really good in terms of, one of the things I really appreciate about him is his steadfastness and his desire to go ahead and want to learn this. And just seeing him, specifically with math, just having him work the problem through, think it through, and those aha moments, those are just so precious when he just goes ahead and, he realizes what he needs to do. Whether you're in the recovery portion of our program or whether you're here in Work Center, it's all part of your life, and wherever you go, that's where your recovery takes place. I think of what Jesus said. He said, we need to love the Lord our God with all of our heart, mind, soul, and strength. This is who we are, and we can't really address one issue without it addressing or affecting the other parts of our lives. So if a person comes to know Jesus Christ as their personal Savior, well, one of the things that's going to be important is for their body, their physical body, to go ahead and be fit and ready to do God's work. And that requires the recovery process. It's going to require their mind to be transformed. So if we go ahead and can holistically, through the gospel, help people move from a lifestyle of addiction to a lifestyle of following Christ, then praise be to God for that.
Work Center would not be possible without the assistance of volunteers. Let's hear from Jasmine Poyer, Midland States Bank manager, about why their staff has chosen to dedicate their time to teaching financial literacy courses in Work Center.
I'm a banking center manager at our Spring Creek and Mulford location, so I pretty much help all the way around. So I sometimes help on the teller line or open accounts for customers, really just whatever, whoever needs me, and just really there to cover financial needs. We've been volunteering at the mission for a wide variety of years. We have partnered alongside with financial literacy to serving meals. We just really like to be part of this collaboration with the mission. The last session that we did one each week, so we had 4 courses. We went over banking basics, we went over credit readiness and career readiness and budgeting. So we definitely like to coordinate the classes that will best benefit the audience. So like career readiness, we made that specifically for the Works mission, and we just went over how they could prepare for an interview and how they could gain that confidence to secure the job. Midland States Bank is a local bank with its headquarters located right here in Illinois. We like to think that the heart of Midland is seeing the growth in our communities we serve, and we know how vital the mission is to to the community, and we just like to work alongside this organization to make sure that we're helping those in need. It's interesting because we don't often get taught these things that we teach during these sessions, and we definitely want to take the fear of finances away and make sure that they are financially empowered during our sessions. And we often even hear staff that are helping with our sessions say that they learned something new as well. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity and for all that you guys do for our community.
Speaking of doing a lot for the community, a couple of guys are here with me now who fit that bill perfectly. Wayne Fisher is here, and he brought Chip along to talk a little bit about Fisher Excavating. We're going to learn a little bit about Fisher. Of course, Fisher Excavating, one of the companies that makes a telethon like this happen. First, tell us a little bit, Wayne, about the business. Your company is really, it's been around for quite a long time.
It's been around for about 29 years. I first would just like to congratulate the mission for their 25 years of telethons, and I think it's a great thing, a great accomplishment. Fisher Excavating in Stone and Materials has been around for 29 years. We started primarily doing excavating for agriculture, small commercial projects, and then we progressed into doing IDOT work. We also have 10 quarries in Northwest Illinois. We primarily work in about a 3-state region, but we venture out. We've worked in about 7 different states doing excavating, site utilities, site work projects, big or small. And Fisher Stone cuts stone for architectural and landscape use. And our stone is on many different buildings in the region, on hospitals, commercial buildings, manufacturing buildings, and so forth, office buildings.
Well, how did you get connected with Rockford Rescue Mission?
Well, Rockford Rescue Mission, we started donating a few years ago. We looked at the mission. We know that it's a Christian-based mission, and it's really important to us to donate towards Christian-based organizations. And when we see the work that Sherry and this mission has done, the reaching out to the community, reaching out to those that are less fortunate, those that are homeless, those that have needs and maybe just need a second chance, we see the work that they do. We feel good about giving our resources to an organization like that that's just loyal and really dedicating to helping others.
And we've got a few seconds left here, Chip. Talk about what you do outside of the business, just personally, to help people at Rockford Rescue Mission.
Yeah, one of the things that Wayne and I do together outside of just running the business is we actually pastor at a local church in Pearl City, Zion Community Church. And one of the cornerstones that's been very important to us in our ministry is the community. The message on our church sign says loving God and loving others. And you know, when you think about what Rockford Rescue Mission does and the way they come beside people to love on them, it's just something we want to be part of.
Rockford Rescue Mission couldn't do it without you. Thank you for your help, not just tonight, but for what you do throughout the year.
Thank you.
Thank you both. Abby, back to you. And Candace, you're both there.
Thank you so much, Eric. You know, and of course we couldn't do it without the help of you guys at home and calling that number 815-966-2842. Of course, you can also donate online at rockfordrescuemission.org. Remember, that goal here for us this evening is $120,000. We are getting there, but we've got about 20 minutes left here of that telethon, and we want to make sure that we reach that goal. To put some numbers kind of in perspective here, 500, that is the number of meals that are served on a daily basis here at the mission. And I think you mentioned you could easily go through 300 eggs during a breakfast.
Could you imagine that?
That is a lot.
It is. It is.
I mean, I go through 3 or 4 eggs sometimes, and that's a big mess. But, you know, it just so much, when you think about it, goes here to the work here at the mission. 170 people staying at the mission each night. A little over 5,000 medical, dental, and chiropractic appointments at the Hope Clinic each year, and 430 participants in the education and career training through the Works Center. We are looking at the folks here at the phone bank. Yes, please call. Ron is telling you to call. And, you know, I want to do something special. I've done it before in years past. I would like to match the next 2 $100 donations. So if you call that number, 815-966-2842, with that gift of $100, the next 2 gifts of that, my husband and I would like to match that. So we want to keep that money going in here just for the wonderful work that the mission does with the community.
Candace, that's really generous of you. That's awesome. We have some pledges here to read and some gifts. Derek Jones gave $100. Mary Horn, $100. Carol E. Pond's Funeral Home donating $500 to us this evening. Michelle McManus donating to us this evening as well. Audrey Minch, Lori Bolin, Karen Cardwell, Linda Green, Dennis Friend, James McCoy, he donated $50. We're just so appreciative of all of you. We couldn't do the work here at the Mission that we do each day if it weren't for our donors. They're supporting us in the life-changing work we're doing.
Yeah, and you talked about how the Mission receives no government funding. It's not a United Way organization. And when you think about everything, just the daily tasks, and to keep this going 365 days a year, 12 months out of the year, it's just mind-boggling sometimes.
Absolutely. Yeah, one of the tasks that I had the privilege of helping with recently is working with our residents on an art postcard. For gifts given $55 or more, we'll receive an art postcard. Our residents worked really hard on creating beautiful pieces that symbolized that block of hope theme that we're talking about this evening. You'll see the cards on your screen. Again, 815-966-2842. Gifts of $55 or more will be receiving that card.
Yes, and we want to go ahead and check that amount here. Last time we checked in, we were just over $79,000. So we want to see what that number is up to. $95,811. We've got 15 minutes left here of that telethon. And remember, the two $100 gifts here, my husband and I will match that to make that a total of $400 here to the Mission. So thank you so much for your support here tonight. Eric?
Oh, we're getting so close to 100,000, but we're a little shy of that 120. Hopefully in the next 15 minutes or so, we can get over the top of that. We've actually spent nearly a couple of hours today looking at some of the amazing stories of life change that take place here at Rockford Rescue Mission. None of this would be possible without community support from individuals, churches, businesses, other organizations. So you might be wondering, well, now what? How can I partner with the Mission? Melanie, the lead associate at Thrift Store, talks about ways that you can get involved.
I oversee all the decorating and do most of it as far as like the layouts and trying to make everything look nice. Also, make sure our cashiers everything is going okay with them. The backroom too processing, I process. Pretty much just anything that needs to be done. All the proceeds from here go directly to the Rockford Rescue Mission to help with all of their programs and helps to fund a lot of different things for that. So it's an important, life-changing event. So it's good to donate here. Some of our crisis and recovery come with nothing, and so their team member will contact us by email and tell us what sizes, what shoes, if they need men's, women's, the clothing items. We couldn't do everything we do without our volunteers, and they have a calling, or if anyone has a calling that feel they want to give back to their community to help our hurting or our most needy, we are here, and you can come and find a department that you would like to volunteer in. We also help Jubilee, we help Rockford Pregnancy Center with clothing, and Red Cross due to fires. So we help more in our community than what people know. We also help other countries with excess clothing that we have, and it is shipped overseas. So when you do donate here, you're helping even more than our direct community. Come on in. We are a good, fun, hard-working group. Come on in. We can pray with anyone. Our customers.
Well, thank you so much. You know, we want to hear a little bit more about the opportunities here at the Mission, because they do not just stop there. Hear from Charmel Jacobs, volunteer supervisor, about why the volunteers here are an extension of our staff to support the Mission operations.
We couldn't do our job without volunteers. We have a lot of paid staff, part-time and full-time, but we need to supplement all those hours. And it's a way to really get connected for people that want to help, even kids. So we have people come in from all ages, all different lifestyles, different jobs, and they really enjoy coming in. And so it's good to have someone fresh coming in all the time too. If you were to come in and help in the kitchen, say as a server on the line, we need people that will just be there to look someone in the eye and give them a compliment, as well as good food. And so it's a way to connect that way, being on the serving line. And then others are helping in our kitchen doing food prep, rolling silverware in a napkin, something as simple as that, working alongside some of our recovery residents. So you get to share your story, they share their stories, and real connections have been made that way. One of my grandchildren was here recently with her church group, and she was with her mama serving beverages. And I asked her if she would want to go with me to hand out seconds on beverages to our men's crisis guests. And she was so eager. And I introduced her to the men there, and they were so gracious and called her by name and thanked her. And to see her light up, and that is an experience that most children don't have, to be able to serve someone totally out of their element, and to see the smiles all around. And many of my volunteers that are calling and applying to serve will tell me they've come as a child and helped serve with their parents or their grandparents. So it's a way that they are returning to the mission, to something they experienced as a child. And we have way more than just the kitchen, places that people can serve. We have a work center, as you heard about earlier in the telethon, and we have our thrift store, and there are our crisis centers. We could use people just to answer phones, little things like that. No time commitment as far as you have to be here 8 hours a day. We work with other people's schedules and make it happen.
Charmel is another one of those faces that we see every year here at the telethon. She has worked so hard throughout the years making this happen, and of course helping Rockford Rescue Mission do what it does every single day. Here's a new face, at least tonight anyway. It's Kent Shantz. Kent is the president and CEO of Rockford Mutual Insurance. Kent, first of all, thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. Tell us a little bit about Rockford Mutual. When you look, back at your history, this company goes back more than 100 years in this area, right?
That's correct. Actually, in 2021, we celebrated our 125th anniversary in business. So we started in 1869 here in Rockford. Started out as a insurer of farm mutuals, but we have grown into a regional insurance company. We market our products through independent insurance agents in 3 states currently. We have plans to expand into another one here in the near future, but we offer home, car, business insurance and farm insurance through independent insurance agents.
So how did you get connected then with Rockford Rescue Mission?
Well, it started really in around 2014, 2015 through our activities committee within the office. We do various charities and fundraisers throughout the year, and it was an overwhelming support of our associates that wanted to support Rockford Rescue Mission. So we started then by volunteering, serving lunches. We had people down here almost weekly serving lunches, and then it turned into various fundraisers that we've done over the years for the rescue mission.
When that pitch session comes down, how does someone convince? Because there's a lot of charity. Let's be honest. There's a lot of organizations that you could help and give your time and talent and treasure to. Why Rockford Rescue Mission?
Well, as a group, we really see what the rescue mission does in the community, and the support and God's love that they pour out to people within the community to help make this a better place to live for all of us. And as a group, they really appreciate what's accomplished here.
You've taken a tour here probably, I would imagine, at some point. What kind of reaction do you have when you see the results of your volunteering or your gifts? How does that make you?
It's amazing. It's always so good to see what a little, it may seem like a little bit, but just a little volunteer work goes a long ways. And not only me, I'm proud of all of our people that get involved here and help at the rescue mission, but they all get, I think, more out of it than what they give, to be honest.
That seems like a theme with volunteers for no matter what they do, but certainly here. Kent, thanks so much for your support throughout the year, but also for being here with us tonight.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it. Candace, Abby, over to you.
All right, thank you so much, Eric. At the bottom of your screen, you'll notice kind of our running total. Yep. We are almost to that $118,000 mark, which puts us very, very close to that goal here for tonight of $120,000. We have just about 4 minutes left here of the telethon. Yeah, our 25th annual telethon. And, Abby, you're here every day.
Yes.
I know there was something you kind of wanted to talk a little bit about, too, kind of just the expansion in numbers that you've seen.
Yes, absolutely. So even in the summertime, in fall of last year, we saw our numbers really rise prematurely. During the wintertime, we usually see those numbers rise when it gets really cold. But with inflation, right, you and I can go to the grocery store and can kind of bear the cost of chicken costing more, but for some people that sets them over the edge. So we've really seen a high number of individuals coming for services, which is what we're here for. We want to provide that care for individuals, and that's why we choose to serve each day. But we couldn't do that if it weren't for individuals giving to the mission. Again, that number is 815-966-2842. Just last night, we had over 180 individuals receiving care here at the mission, whether they're staying in-house with us here at the mission or being housed in an off-site location, because we're overflowing out of our crisis centers right now.
Yeah, I mean, as you talked about, that need really growing over the years, and as you mentioned, things changing in the economy or somebody's just life overall. Sometimes people don't necessarily imagine that life kind of taking that left turn, right? But you guys are here to help with that, and it's not just for the Rockford area. I mean, there are people from around the region that come in for support and for help.
Absolutely, and we meet them without judgment, right? We meet them in a moment of hardship and vulnerability with love and grace and truth, right? And providing that hope that, Jesus does not want them to stay here, right? Christ is with them in this hardship, but will walk with them to the end of, whatever hardship that is, to provide that hope for them. So it's that, immediate need being met, but also that eternal hope in Christ that we're offering them.
And watching the videos here tonight of people who have gone through the programs and then through your partnership with different companies in the community, getting back out into the workforce and actually working for some of those companies. And that's just got to be a very heartwarming feeling.
Yes, that's what it's about. We love when former residents come back and say, this is where I am now. I've rebuilt my life. I'm back on my feet, and I couldn't have done it without the mission. And people who have supported the mission over the years, it's truly our community that's making this life change possible.
The saying is it takes a village, right? And, to raise a child. Well, it takes a village sometimes to bring out that hope and that help for the community need. And guys, thank you so much for those gifts. $117,000, that's where we are right now. That goal, $120,000. We've got just about 2 minutes left here of the telethon. We're sweating watching that. We are so close, but we know that you can also donate online at rockfordrescuemission.org.
Well, and that's kind of too, sometimes the phones are really quiet, which is misleading for multiple reasons. First of all, everybody's got a headset back there, so normally you look, and if someone had the phone to their ear, it would be pretty obvious that they're on the phone. But one thing that we really want to, I just want to go back to this because, we've done this telethon together for quite a long time, and the three of us actually for a long time. One thing that really strikes me too is that when you watch a lot of these videos, there are things and positive things and reinforcing things that volunteers or staff members here say to someone who comes to Rockford Rescue Mission for help that maybe has never been said to them in their lives.
Yes.
And it gives them value, and it gives them hope and faith that they can overcome whatever obstacles that they face. So a lot of that credit goes to staff and volunteers here at Rockford Rescue Mission.
Absolutely.
But you at home, and your generosity for giving a gift that helps Rockford Rescue Mission accomplish its mission and transform these lives. It's pretty amazing. And these videos, as emotional as they are, it's really only a fraction of the stories that people who have been through Rockford Rescue Mission programs have to share.
Absolutely.
815-966-2842. We've got 1 minute left here of our telethon, so we know that we can reach that goal of $120,000. And I know we have some very special folks too who kind of want to say hello and thank you so much for your generous gifts here.
There's a little one over here who actually wants to get in on everything. It's funny too that you can feel the aura of a room change when a baby shows up. It just improves the mood, and everybody wants to just go touch the little hands.
I know, and those are some really special Life Recovery residents over there who are waving at you. They are people who are working hard to rebuild their lives each and every day. I often say they're doing the hardest thing they can. They're pausing their life and rebuilding it to be healthy and happy people that want to get back out in the community and serve others.
And not only that, many of them sharing their stories tonight to let other people know that they are not alone.
We did it! We did it! Oh, guys, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for your generosity this evening and for joining us tonight.
We'll see you for telethon number 26 next year.
Thank you for watching An Evening for Hope, a telethon benefiting Rockford Rescue Mission. An Evening for Hope was brought to you commercial-free thanks to our exclusive sponsor, Subway.